Midnight Dice, welcome to 69 Faces of Rock. Please introduce yourself and tell me what you do in a band.
My name is Steve, and I'm the lead guitar player.
Josh, drums.
I'm Mandy, I'm the lead singer.
I'm Rusty, bass player.
So when did Midnight Dice form? Who wants to start?
Oh man, that's a great question.
Yeah.
When did we form?
2017.
2017. Thank you, Steve.
Yeah.
Yeah, we formed right after Steve, Mandy, and I played in Satan's Hollow, which some people may know. And then after that ended, we were like, let's keep playing music together. And we chose Midnight Dice.
Mm-hmm. Who did you want to be like when you formed this new band?
Like a musician. We want to be like Midnight Dice.
Right.
Are there any influences that you kind of are looking into?
Let me field Steve on that
Yep.
one, yeah.
I think we come back from a diverse background of influence from different bands that we like, but we all still share the same thing, if that makes sense. Basically, I think this sums it up. It's just we want to do our own thing and not follow a trend and try to do the best at it.
And
But if you want bands, I would say, like for me, it was like a mixture of like, Judas Priest, Dokken, that type of stuff, and and then there's some other influences that Pat likes, like Dio or Saxon, that kind of stuff.
Saxon,
but kind of like put like our own little unique twist on it.
Yeah.
so what did Midnight Dice end up sounding like once you plugged in?
We ended up sounding like what you will hear on this EP, which is called Hypnotized, that just came out. That's my best answer that I can give.
I think we're following in the footsteps of the greats of the 80s, like Judas Priest, like Steve said, Dokken and Dio. We're following in their footsteps. We're not trying to step on their toes. We're trying to take what they did and maybe take it a step further and maybe give people something they haven't heard exactly that way before.
Mandy, how would you describe your vocal approach?
I try to take an honest approach. I think there are a lot of vocalists out there that are tremendous and awesome, constantly pushing themselves to a realm that is like not really attainable by human beings. I think Rob Halford probably set us all up for that. And what I found is that I think it's better to just try to be yourself. And it's hard to do when you want to sound tough and you want to sound beautiful and you want to put all that stuff together. So yeah, I think honest approach and having it come from the gut is that's what I'm going for.
And when did you realize you could sing and you wanted to do that?
I've been a singer for my whole life. I remember being like in first grade in the bathroom at my elementary school and having someone knock on the door and yell, "Hey, stop singing in there," because they were all like waiting in line to get in.
Can you recall what it was you were singing back then?
Probably not, but my first vocal performance through a microphone was when I was the lion in The Wizard of Oz, and I sang "If I Only Had the Nerve" in front of everybody.
Excellent. When you first formed, did you guys right away go for originals or did you play covers? How did that work out for you?
We want to be playing our own songs whenever we can. When we first started, obviously you're just starting and you don't have a whole set of material. So we played like a Satan's Hollow song in our first show, and then we also did a cover of Sweet Set Me Free, which was a lot of fun. We're also big fans of the 70s kind of glam, heavy psych rockers, so that was a good choice.
At what point did you kind of develop your style? Like you felt that you wanted something good here?
It's got to be on the Hypnotized EP.
It was when we were recording the EP when those songs came together. Because somebody said it best, it's like we didn't reinvent the wheel with this stuff, but it has its own unique sound and I would say voice. But I think the EP is what defines our sound, and we're gonna, trying our best to stick on that path to keep that.
Yeah.
So,
at this point, how many shows have you played?
7 or 8, I think, something like that. I mean, the pandemic kind of slowed live music in general down, so I think we would have played a lot more, but I'd say 7 or 8 or something like that. We just played with Steel Panther last September. We got the call 2 days before the show, and it was just kind of interesting, but that was fun. So that was the last show we played with Steel Panther.
Now, Steel Panther has quite a following.
Yeah.
How did their fans react to a band like yourself?
Well, no one knew who we were.
I expected that.
And we went on, and they really wanted to see Steel Panther. But I think that we won them over. I think they heard some, classic sounding metal, and there were definitely some heads banging and some smiles, and I think, I don't know that many people bought the CD, but I think we gave them a nice night.
We sold like at least 4 CDs.
So there are 4 fans out there.
And I'll tell you what, it's the moms. There was a lot of older,
Yeah.
It was an older crowd, kind of middle country America, and there was a lot of moms that were really into it.
I was mobbed by guitar players.
Yes,
That
yes.
was about it.
They kept asking Steve if he knew who Dokken was, or George
Oh,
Lynch.
it was George
They
Lynch,
kept
and I was
asking
like,
Steve
yeah.
if they knew who George Lynch was,
And did he know who George Lynch was?
Of course.
He's might have.
One of my favorite players.
I'm just double checking that fact.
One of my favorite players.
So if you listen to this EP, you might find out that Steve knows who George Lynch is.
And now, since you saw the EP, that came out in what, 2020, 21?
Yeah.
What can you tell me about the EP?
It's 4 songs. I think it represents like a really good result of teamwork type situation. When we were all playing together in Satan's Hollow, it was really driven by the lead writer in that project was one of those guys who comes in with like the big vision and gets everybody into his vision. And it was really cool to work on this together and have it be more collaborative. Like all of us were really contributing something, and like we're all kind of greater than the sum of our parts. So that's why I like it.
And what response is the EP getting?
So far, it's been pretty great. I mean, it's been out for a couple of years because of the pandemic. Other people, became hugely productive and recorded a ton of stuff during the pandemic. And for us, I think it was a little more kind of slow and reflective.
And we jam stuff up. We don't. Oh, I think a lot of bands today write a whole song and they're collaborating over the internet or they're long distance, and that's totally awesome. And I do that in some of my other bands, but the thing about Midnight Dice is that we write the songs in the room, in the moment together. And so we lost about a year from the pandemic, and I think all of us had COVID at one point in time, so we lost from that. So it's just, we don't want to rush anything,
Are there any new songs written?
Yep. Yeah, we've got one brand new Steve Lethal tune that's going to be played today for the
Yes.
first time ever.
Yes.
Can you tell us a little bit more about that song and which direction is it taking?
It's more of a mid-pace, kind of like anthemic rock song, I would say. It's kind of, if I would have to say, it's kind of like in the line of like Lay It Down by Rat. It's kind of got that feel to it. And that's what I had a vision for, at least. When I was writing the guitar parts and arranging it before we started jamming it, it felt very simple to me, but after it all came together, it's actually kind of complex because there's a lot of different parts and changes and a lot of nuances, because I like to play like every verse something a little different with my guitar chords to keep, the listener like keep on listening, so it's not the same monotonous, guitar riff over and over again. So it's come together quite nice, and it's pretty fun to play, and it's actually pretty fun to play a new one. So
When can we possibly expect a follow-up to the EP?
Well, we hear a lot of people asking for a full length, and we definitely want to do that. But I think we've been also tossing around the idea of recording a couple songs and doing a single, just to kind of. We have a new drummer. Lineup changed in the past year or so. Josh, our new drummer. So we'd like to maybe do a single to kind of showcase the new lineup before we jump into making a full album.
Finally, can you explain what is the meaning of your name, Midnight Dice? I mean,
Yeah, sure. So the real meaning is, I just thought it was a great band name.
It is.
And there's a little bit of lore from the Satan's Hollow days. In 2015, Satan's Hollow played our first show, but we were live testing and we didn't want to give out our name yet. So we played under a fake name of Midnight Dice. The show is pretty badass. Winterhawk, Demon Bitch were on the bill, and we played a little show kind of secretly. And when Satan's Hollow couldn't happen anymore, I was just saying like, hey, let's use Midnight Dice, because we were all in Satan's Hollow. There's a little lore there. There's some magic.
well, technically, we're just a bunch of nerds that likes to play board games at midnight.
Yeah, it's all about Dungeons and Dragons.
I prefer the late night pizza run, so for
Yeah.
me it's about the midnight slice.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Hey, pleasure.
Thank you so much.
Thanks for having
Thank
us. We
you.
appreciate it.